Namaste. The topic for today is consciousness and awareness. Both are, in the subject of spiritualism, the most essential. The whole subject is based on awareness and consciousness. Now, why is this NES is attached to the factor of being aware? NES is that intensity to determine anything. It's that suffix. When you add NES to, say, the color red, it reveals and reflects its intensity as to how red it is, redness. Similarly, awareness and consciousness reflects upon the individual intensity of aware energy and conscious energy. Your personality and your individuality. And both are used interchangeably. Very confusing. Most of us, meaning most of spiritual seekers, are confused in the differentiating between awareness and consciousness. Both are independent. Both have their own meaning and their role to play. One is the force and the other is the field, like the sun and the light. Both are independent. Both have their own meaning. But both function in consonance, like a flame of fire and it sparks. Both are separate, yet for us it's combined. Yes, it's combined. So one is the force of energy and the other is the field. Awareness is the force. Consciousness shines, or awareness shines through consciousness. Awareness shines through consciousness. And consciousness shines through life as the self. It forms yourself, your ego self, your witnessing self, your body self. So, awareness is that raw cosmic energy. And the highest attribute of that cosmic energy is awareness, which only the mind, a living creature, can determine. It's that trigger which activates life. Without awareness, there is nothing. There is no existence. The universe cannot exist until and unless you are aware. God cannot exist until and unless you are aware of whatever it is in form or formlessness. You have to be aware of it. Meaning nothing can unfold in this universe unless you are aware. So awareness is that ultimate reality, absolute, because it does not change. It is in wholesomeness and in totality. It does not change. It is eternal. It is universal. consciousness is individual. Your individual consciousness. Even the soul is individual, in which the awareness comes and settles in the superconscious section of the mind. Your soul. It is referred to as the witnessing consciousness. You become the witnesser through your soul. But the awareness is that witness, that flow of abstract energy, having its highest attribute in becoming aware. It's not aware of itself. No, it's not aware of itself. But it can make the mind aware. So when your mind is alert and observant, it becomes aware. And after that, only after that, if your mind is attentive, then it becomes conscious. Otherwise, the mind functions subconsciously in auto mode in an unconscious manner from its memory and intellect, randomly, multitasking into this and that, not conscious, fully conscious of what it is doing. It is partially conscious, referred to as subconscious level. So, awareness is the ultimate reality. Ultimate. It is uncaused, unsupported, unchanging, non-judgmental, does not condemn anything. It just makes the mind aware. Makes the mind aware spontaneously. It is that intelligence. Your unique intelligence with the suffix of NESS after aware. And once the mind takes over this spirit, this ultimate reality, when it takes over, what happens? If it is focused and attentive, you become conscious. If it is not, you function subconsciously. So when it is conscious of what it is perceiving, it experiences in a better manner. In a better manner. And it creates that wakefulness. Because in deep sleep, you are not conscious, but you are aware. But you are aware. Your mind might keep changing through its consciousness, but that awareness settled in the soul as the witness. A notch, a grade less when it enters the soul. Becoming the witnesser to make the mind aware. So, what happens? Even though both are an outcome of thought, awareness is spontaneous. It's that creator within you. It's that divine within you. That art thou. Settled in the soul. And awareness does not require consciousness. But consciousness cannot do without awareness. Awareness may shine through consciousness. Yes, like the sun shines through its light energy. So, but the consciousness shines through the self, whether it's in ego self, lower consciousness, or whether it is in the higher self, in divinity and divine consciousness. Awareness is always before the I am. I am that. Before the I am. Consciousness appears after the I am, after the body and mind, and disappears after the I am disappears in death. Awareness transcends consciousness. It encompasses every conceivable thing in this universe. Without awareness, nothing exists. Your perception is mechanical. When light energy enters and hits the retina, forms an image. The image then travels through neural pathways via neurons into various sections, subconscious section, conscious section, superconscious section, to form a certain information through its awareness. Information which accumulates into knowledge. So awareness is that beingness of who you are in abstract aware energy, because you are not body and mind. It's yours. You are not thoughts. Thoughts are yours. Who are you then? You are an abstract, formless, I-less state which makes the individual mind aware and conscious, which makes the thinking self aware. Without that, there cannot be any thoughts. Without awareness, it's that beingness. In that being of body and mind, to create that becomingness in consciousness, to create that becomingness of your individual personal existence, of your personal unique existence. So consciousness is that wakefulness, is that uniqueness of what you are. It is the content of what you are. Awareness is the subject, is the context of what you are. Awareness is the subject, consciousness is its objective. Sun is the subject, light is its objective. These two may be connected to each other as one, like body, mind and spirit. All three combine into one. The mind controls the body, and the spirit, through its soul, checks the mind. So each is essential, like material is as essential as spiritual. Consciousness keeps changing. Ego consciousness, Hindus call it Jivatma. Witnessing consciousness, Antaratma. Divine consciousness, Paratma. Par means beyond. Paratma. So, awareness is the subject of who you are. It is that beingness of who you are. It is that reality, ultimate reality. It is that thou art that. It is that spiritual, conscious energy. The spiritual forms awareness, consciousness forms the mind through its levels of subconscious, conscious and superconscious, and it forms your external, forms your personality, your internal forms your uniqueness in the form of individuality. And even though awareness is not aware of itself, That's raw cosmic energy. It's universal. It's transpersonal. It's impartial. And consciousness is personal. It needs to attach to something, attach to duality, because mind can only function in duality, in relativity, in opposites of truth, lie, God, devil, positive, negative, right, wrong, etc., etc. So it has to attach to one to be conscious about. So it's dual in nature. That's what mind is. Awareness is non-dual, impartial, transpersonal. Is that para Brahman, the highest attribute of energy. Parameshwar, beyond God, the supreme energy from which all human forms of gods appear and disappear. Awareness can be described in 3 stages. When awareness in the first stage is objective, external, seeing all that is objectively around. The second stage, subjective, being the witness, settled in the individual soul as the witnesser, witnessing through mind on the witnessed. See, it becomes a subject. It becomes subjective, not objective. Objective is external. It becomes subjective when it is perceiving inwards, looking inwards. It is subjective when it is becoming aware of its own thoughts, of its own thinking self and its physical self, the mental self and the physical self. The actual self is the soul. And the no self, who you are in actuality, as the subject of life, that is just pure witness, abstract flow of energy, cosmic energy, universal energy, eternal, embedded in the human mind to make the mind aware. The divine shining through its divinity. That's what awareness is. And the third stage, the first stage is objective, the second stage is subjective, and the third stage is when you become aware of your own awareness. Hindus refer to that as Chaitanya, the ultimate, the awakened awareness, the awakened awareness. So, all efforts, methods, practices, motivations are psychological. Any effort applied is effort applied by the mind, for the mind, by the mind, of the mind. Consciousness for the soul, where the awareness is settled. All that you require is awakening. Awakening. How to awaken that awareness, that aware energy embedded within you, is the art of living. The rest is all practice. practices of the mind to soothe the mind, to discipline the mind, to motivate the mind, to make the mind peaceful. But that awareness, that divine, until and unless it is awakened, there will always be something amiss in your life. You may have all the comforts, wealth, family, money, whatever, friends. Until and unless the awareness is awakened from within, you will be living a subconscious life and not a conscious life. So both play a very essential role in life. Without one, the other is not there. Like without the material there can be no spiritual. Without the devil there can be no God. No divine. No divine. So awareness is that divine settled within you, which is reflected not in the form of a name and gender. This divine is not in the form of a name and gender. It is that supreme energy which reflects and shines through your consciousness in the act of your divinity, in the act of your empathy, feeling for others, in the act of your fearlessness, in the act. Fearlessness is godliness. In the acts of your good deeds, when you do not need to fear anything. So please remember, these two are very, very essential in life. And you need to know the difference between the two so that you are aware of your awareness and you are aware of your consciousness and you lead a life of ikigai. Ikigai means value of life, not through analysis, but through its wholesomeness. Through its wholesomeness, in totality. In totality. Thank you very much.